Hi, guys. This is Michael from Nomadic Insights. Welcome. On today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at a new IPO that's coming up for a company called Exodus. So, for those of you who are unfamiliar with Exodus, what they offer is a series of financial products to manage cryptocurrency like Bitcoin. So, Exodus was formerly known as Exodus IPO, and as a part of their effort to go public, recently rebranded to Exodus.com as they're in the process of doing the submissions to the SEC. So, since this is an initial public offering, there's questions of is this company worth buying? Is it a scam? What are these things? And, if you do buy this stock, is there going to be a margin of safety? So really what is, going on here? So, what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at the management of the company. We're going to look at the initial IPO and, the economic moat that this company is trying to build long term to see if it's actually good to get in on the initial public offering. And we're also going to look at the twist that they're doing with the IPO. So, first, if we go with Cathie Wood's approach to disruptive innovation and the innovator's dilemma, new markets are born all the time. So when I'm looking for a company to invest in as a growth play, I'm looking for a company that is pursuing a blue ocean strategy, or it really is going to, produce a new product, a new strategy. So this idea of innovation or, looking for new markets and really using these new markets to create growth is a blue ocean strategy instead of a red ocean strategy, which is, you're competing with everybody else. And based on what I see, it looks like Exodus is trying to pursue a blue ocean strategy and trying to develop a new economic moat. So the reason I say this is, there's a lot of companies like Humble which are trying to raise capital in legacy capital markets. And the interesting twist with Exodus is they're trying to raise capital using things like Bitcoin and Ethereum to actually sell, using cryptocurrencies. So through their IPO, they're actually trying to move the market forward, into new territory with the blue ocean because they're really on a mission to change the capital markets from a legacy model to this kind of new decentralized model. And, the SEC filing to do that, I like the mission there. I do like the mission. Now whether or not this constitutes a good cryptographic investment, with the Coinbase IPO coming up, that remains to be seen. But I do like the blue ocean, and I like the idea of kind of burning the boats, like kind of with Hernan Cortez, where he went forward into Mexico and he burned the boats. I think the burning the boats is very well. Alexander the Great. Alexander the Great burned his boats, and Hernan Cortez did that with his men too. So a lot of times with these conquerors, they burn the boats, so you move forward, so you have no choice to retreat, and that you just need to go forward. And I think that the burning of the boats here, with the way they're structuring the IPO, does speak at least to the founders' belief in what they're doing. I like that. I do like that. Now, looking at the management of the company more so than the financials, so with this initial, offering, I don't want to get into financials just yet. So let's talk a little bit about the management. So on a recent piece I did, I was looking at the engineering team and at Humble Pay, and I just felt like the engineering team doesn't have the same, startup chops. So one of the things that I really like about Exodus is their VP of engineering. Their VP of engineering, Sean Kuntz, has a lot of experience with, both regular normal tech startups, fintech startups, and also, crypto. And he's got a series of very interesting articles talking about hiring developers on Medium and, some of the different ways that they've interviewed developers. And I really like to see that, because it really shows that the, developers, are actually committed to being developers. And, the company is run by, engineers who actually know what they're doing. So I don't like it when startups are run by finance people when they rely on the engineers. So I like that there's really kind of this focus on software engineering at the company. I do think that that's important, and it is a strong buy signal to me. So I like what I'm seeing so far. There may be some other flags that I haven't seen, but I think that Sean Kuntz I hope I'm saying Sean's last name correctly. Really hope I am. I think that, the CEO is less important, at these companies than the number two people. And you really want to have a good cast, as this company is going to try to scale up operations. And I think that's really interesting. So the securitization of the tokens, I think that the development team looks solid. They're trying to expand. It really looks like, from a software development perspective, it looks like they know how to write some code. And that is really good to see. And it's really reassuring. And it's a lot less fly by nighty. Again, they're not heavy on the marketing people. I don't feel like I'm getting bombarded by slickness. It looks like it's a solid company that's engineering a solid product that does actually have a product. For a $75 million IPO, which is going to give this company about, $750 million valuation, I think things are reasonable. And I don't feel like it's terrible. I just have more faith in this than I do a humble pay. That's just me. This feels more legitimate. But, I do accept that there may be some information I've missed. In terms of things I don't like that, retail shareholders are only going to have like 10% of voting power after this IPO. That is something that tech companies do with, A and B classes of shares. I don't like this tier structure. So if you're talking about building the future of decentralized finance, I don't think you should have a two-tier structure. But I do appreciate the fact that you need to kind of keep control over the company in order to actually execute on your vision. So, Facebook has done this and it's done by newspapers. I don't like that. So to me, that does knock the stock. And then the securitization of the tokens and, actually having ownership being signaled by a Bitcoin token or an Ethereum token. This is the first time it's happened. So, I'm going to probably buy a share just because it's cool from a technology perspective, what they're doing, and they're trying to, move the envelope forward. So I think it's an interesting speculative play. So, I'll throw $30 towards it for the ride. But I'm not going to, I wouldn't bet the farm on Exodus is what I'm trying to say. The Exodus is going to be able to pull off the Exodus. But I think that, as we're seeing some of these IPOs in crypto, I think it's going to be a very interesting play. So thanks for listening again, guys. I am trying to make these due diligences, more structured. So what we try to do is we try to answer, does this company have a blue ocean strategy? Does it have an economic moat? Can it scale up? And we're really looking for, kind of next generation economic moats. So I'm not interested in just disruption, but I'm interested in disruption that offers sustained competitive advantage. And I think that that's worth investing in for a value play. And, I don't think that, it seems like value investing is like viewed as like, oh, are you doing this legacy stock? No, it's dumb. No, I just need to make sure that, this isn't going to all crash and burn. And once I think something is not going to crash and burn and it has an economic moat, like Facebook had an economic moat, Google had an economic moat. Once I'm convinced that, yes, this is a legitimate thing, and, the innovation is past the prototype stage, which I think crypto is, now we're at a place where there's going to be real businesses and money to be made. But again, I'm still learning more about crypto, and I'm just kind of the opinion that it's overly dominated by frat boy like figures, and it's really built by nerds for nerds and by nerds. So you kind of need to understand that. So I just really strongly encourage people to look at the engineering teams at a lot of tech companies, and if it's not run by engineers, like just look at Uber versus Facebook. And, the big difference between these companies is, you have people who know how to build products. Like Steve Jobs was a great engineer and he was also a good marketer, but at the end of the day, he built good products. So if the leadership team can't engineer their way out of a paper bag, then you probably shouldn't invest with them. I just think that's a reasonable thing to say. And, again, I am not trying to knock Exodus. I think it's an interesting play here. I think there's some serious pros. And, I think that the securitization on the IPO, that might be a bit of a red flag, for some people. But I do think that, we're in new territory here. I mean, you're playing with something very new and it's totally speculative. 100% speculative investment, until we have like 10 public, until we have some more public crypto companies like Coinbase, I just think that you're going to be seeing, I think that the Coinbase IPO, I think that that's going to be insane. I think there's going to be a lot of money to be made there if that comes out. And we'll be keeping an eye on that. But we have some other due diligences I'm working on. I'm going to be doing, I'm going to be doing a series on some gaming stocks with Activision and Blizzard. And then I kind of have my weekly, okay, I'm experimenting with crypto and let's see if I can make side hustle and passive income. So thanks so much, guys. And we have a weekly kind of talk show at 9 called Skeptic Sunday, where we're looking at different investments and how things are going to move forward. So thanks so much, and have a great one, guys. Stay awesome, stay well, stay skeptical, and welcome, and hit that subscribe button to stay tuned with Nomadic Insights, the place of the Stoic skeptics. Thanks so much, guys. Have a great one. Bye.